deportation. I want everyone to stop calling it deportation because it is not deportation, it is kidnapping. Let's call it what it is.
You need to stop right there.
You need to stop kidnapping people off the street.
It's scary. It is scary to see. I was passing Home Depot. I saw what appeared to be two men tied up, with ICE agents.
Stop! You guys are kidnapping people off the street.
I walked up to the agents and asked what they were doing, if they were just arresting workers. I was told that other people's criminal history is not my business. When masked, armed, unidentified gunmen are standing in the parking lot of our local shopping centers, this is not how we lawfully and ethically enforce our laws. I won't be silenced. I will continue to speak up. We all need to continue to speak up.
I'm tired of telling my mom and dad every day after school that, have you seen the new video of ICE pulling someone over because the color of their skin? I'm tired of everything. And I hope you guys really do something about it, because I really do want something to change, because I should not live like this as a 16-year-old. I shouldn't be scared. I should be focusing on school, and I can't even focus on school. I'm scared for my parents to walk out their house, because I might not be able to say goodbye to them if they go to work. We are fighting for our rights, and we are getting treated like animals because people judge us by the color of our skin and the way that we talk. And we have a president that acts like a child and doesn't side with us because of the way he thinks about us.
Is the Trump regime conducting deportation, or is it kidnapping? I want everyone to listen to this ICE agent come out and tell the truth as to what is really truly going on within the Trump regime and what is happening to these immigrants who are detained. Watch the video from its entirety, from the beginning to the end. Share it out and make this man's voice go viral, please.
I have a constitutional right, and it is time to fight back. Yep, you heard it. It is time to fight back. You want to talk about, let's go ahead and admit to the fact that we're not giving anybody due process. You are kidnapping fathers from their families. You are kidnapping mothers from their children and locking them up in cages like criminals. For what? For a misdemeanor? For a misdemeanor? When was the last time you saw a citizen locked up in a maximum security facility for fishing without a license? Because that's all it is. The same legal category as a traffic violation. But you turn it into a SWAT-style takedown in front of children in schools and churches and in homes. That's not law enforcement. That's a state-sponsored terror. Let me remind you of what the Constitution says. We, the people. It doesn't say not we, the citizens. It says not we, the privilege, or it says we, the people. That means anyone on American soil is guaranteed due process, the right to a fair hearing and equal protection under the law. But instead, ICE plays judge, jury, and executioner. You don't give people a trial, you give them a bus to get on. You don't let them speak to an attorney. You throw them in a detention center with no windows, no rights, no voice, no food, and no water. This isn't justice. This isn't freedom. This is kidnapping under the disguise of paperwork. Let's call it what it is. You disappear people without a trial. You tear families apart without a court order. You lock people away like they're monsters for a misdemeanor. That's not immigration enforcement. That's a violation of human rights. And if you still think this is okay, let me ask you one question. Would you be okay if they did it to your daughter, your mother, your son, your father? Would you call it policy? Or would you call it what it was, a crime, kidnapping? So today, I say enough is enough. If they come for one of us, they're coming for all of us. And we will not sit down. We will not be silent because we, the people, have had enough of the lies, enough of the terror, enough of the silence. This is not about politics. It's about the people. It's about justice. It's about the promise that this country made when it wrote the first 3 words of the Constitution. We, the people. And we are rising up. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now!
ICE agents are operating as if they are above the law. ICE agents are detaining people without due process, without probable cause, transporting them across state lines as if they have some legal bearing or right. We were just following orders is not a justified excuse. ICE agents are taking orders from a convicted felon in the Oval Office. DHS is following orders that are given by a felon instead of actually following the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution, which states that all people have a right to due process. That's not my opinion. The Supreme Court 5 weeks ago just ruled that all people are afforded the right to due process, which meant that ICE agents were not allowed to illegally detain people, transport them, and deport them out of the country without these individuals being seen by a judge. These immigrants are not criminals. Immigrants in this country are not criminals just because they're here. It's a civil infraction. However, the laws that the ICE agents are violating are criminal. Here's the federal law. Here's the state law. And if you don't think that these ICE agents are a part of the problem, then you're the problem. Post this. Follow me. Share this with more people. And I want to hear what you have to say. Don't be sniping in the background about how you think this is justified, because if you think it's justified, then speak it and leave a comment. For everybody else, if you feel as outraged as I am, copy this, repost it, share it, hit favorite. Make people see this, because unity is strength. Strength can move anything as long as we all work together.
All right, so crazy fun experience I had today is I was driving and I noticed a cop bang a U-turn hard. Turned her blues on, came flying up behind me, so I parked in a bank parking lot just because it was out of the way and it's Sunday. And so I am sitting there, she walks up, she tells me why she pulled me over. It was because of a inspection sticker, not a big deal, really. Asked for my ID, give her my ID, and then she comes back over after, 4 or 5 minutes, and she's like, do you have an ID in any other states? And I was like, yeah, here's the other states I've had IDs in. And so I'm not thinking much of it. I was like, okay, it must be a clerical issue or something. And she ends up coming back a few minutes later, and she's like, okay, can I get your social security number? I was like, that's a first. I've never had them ask for my social security number at any traffic stop, ever. So I'm like, okay, here's the social security number. Then like 5 minutes later again, she comes back, she's like, yeah, so I'm not pulling you up in any of our systems, in any state you said you had a license in. She's like, I had to call my sergeant. I was like, okay, well, we'll see how that goes then. So the sergeant ends up coming up. He asked me to step out of the car, but essentially plays back everything. And he's like, is this a real license? I was like, yeah, it's a real license. He's like, this is a real license from that state. I'm like, yeah, it is. He's like, so there's no like security codes or holographics or anything. I was like, I don't know. It's just the ID they give me. And I was like, I even have the motorcycle permit in my wallet still. So it's like, I have that one if you want to see that one. He's like, hold on then. So then they have me stand at the back of the cruiser. The officer originally pulled me over. She stands there with me while the sergeant's doing his thing. And I don't know, like 20 minutes later, he comes back over. He's like, I got it all squared away. You're all set. I was like, no, hold on. You just like basically told me I might be getting arrested, that you guys think I have a fake ID, which is another crime in and of itself. And I was like, basically, you guys told me you have no idea who I am or what I am, yet I gave you my license. What is happening? And then like, you asked for my social security number. That's never happened before. He's like, well, in all honesty, you can thank ICE for this one. I was like, what? He's like, you know, your name. I was like, so because I have a Hispanic last name, I'm flagged in ICE? He's like, well, you're not just flagged, you're kind of removed from everything. So I almost got arrested because of a system with ICE flagging a US-born citizen who spent my entire life in this country since the day I was born. 2 generations of my family have been born in the United States, and yet I got flagged. And the kicker is my last name isn't even Mexican, it's Spanish. So I am Hispanic, but the last name that we have is actually a Spaniard last name because my, grandfather had a thing for Mexican women, I guess. And he, so anyways, yeah, now I'm flagged. And he's like, yeah, this might keep happening to you now. Cool. Very awesome. So my little fun story of the day is I've been profiled. And, yeah, good times, stay icy.
So Mayor Johnson of Chicago, or Shitcago, says that any ICE agent that tries to arrest an illegal immigrant in his city, he's gonna have arrested. Let that marinate for a minute. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me you can't prosecute criminals in your city, but meanwhile, you want to threaten federal agents? I guess that's the hill that he chooses to die on. But these Democrat mayors, they're living in Delulu land. And the fact that they continue to obstruct and go to war with ICE for doing their job is just insane to me. But there's one thing Mayor Johnson and the others in these Democrat-controlled cities need to understand. Step back and let ICE do their job. And if you really want to advocate for illegal immigrants, just tell them to leave and come back and do it the right way, like everybody else. That's a thought.
I'm here with my nephew, Adriel Lorenzo, who was born here, U.S. citizen, born in the United States, in Brooklyn, New York. In fact, I was behind the ambulance when my sister was going to give birth with him at Long Island College Hospital in downtown Brooklyn. Today, this morning, on his way from work, a U.S. citizen, and this is happening, people, pay attention, a U.S. citizen was stopped by ICE and harassed. 8 officers surrounded him, asked him if he had a fake ID when he presented his state ID and his driver's license. They cut up illegally his legal state ID and asked him if it was a fake driver's license. They detained him unlawfully without probable cause, just getting out of his car, coming off from work, working with children that he works with, going into 7-Eleven. I'll let him tell you how he feels. Adriel, how did you feel at that time? What power did you think you have?
Well, you don't have no power. You can't defend yourself. Everything going around with them talking about you're powerless when there's people surrounding you and they're saying that they can shoot you down and all they'll give you is your remains to your family. It makes you scared. You can't say nothing. If you curse the cops out, they can take you down. They said that my documents were fake. They asked for a green card. They asked me many times where I was from, what's my ethnicity. It was like if it was racial profiling. I got stopped for absolutely no reason. I did nothing. When I was there, you feel scared, you feel hopeless. You don't have your phone. You can't call nobody. You don't have your wallet. They took both of my identifications, cut it up. They cut my ID up. They told me my driver's license was fake. And my driver's license was just renewed and issued about a month ago. So I have no idea. Inside of Florida, the back of Florida's IDs have a little picture to determine that your ID is real or if it's fake. For them to, what happened was just, it's a lot. So
How long did they hold?
about 35 to 40 minutes.
What happened when they released you?
They basically said that you need to carry all your documents to have your social security card, and I need to be more careful going forward and not to be carrying two identifications.
What is it illegal to carry two identifications?
Yes, two identification cards. That's what they said.
Did they told you it was illegal?
They said it was illegal.
It is not. It is not. I have my passport card and I have my driver's license.
But I had my
There's no statute. That's okay. There's no statute that says that it's illegal in the state of Florida or any place that I know in the U.S. to carry multiple IDs. In fact, it's better to carry more than that's sufficient.
Why did they cut up my ID?
That's a great question. We need to find out. Did you have the names? Did anybody call any of them by names? Do you remember?
I don't remember any of them.
Okay. All right. I understand. What happened when you got in the car? What happened when you got back in the car? How did you feel? What did you do?
I panicked and I called my uncle, and I cried for a while. And I was just scared to even drive home because imagine you getting stopped again. There's ICE checkpoints all over. They're checking random cars. They're stopping people because they have temporary tags in their cars because they think they're...
Did you have temporary tags?
No. I had a Florida tag, and the car's actually registered to my mom.
I know.
She's actually an American citizen as well.
Right.
So,
folks, I'm just sharing the story with you because it's important that people know exactly what's going on here. U.S. citizens, law-abiding U.S. citizens, who were being stopped without any probable cause, no infraction, there wasn't a traffic violation, it's simply profiling. They stopped a U.S. citizen born in Brooklyn, New York, and I can testify, my name is Dr. Alberto Alexander, I was there when he was born in Long Island College Hospital. To my sister, this is what's happening. We have to let people know because this is coming into a police state and we are all under...
Thank you for watching those clips, and I hope you really enjoy what everyone was actually talking about the ICE and how they operated within the United States of America. And it has been come to broad daylight how they operate, how they smuggle people, and how they detain people without going through a judge, without seeing a judge, and some are actually deported out of the country immediately they were arrested. And now the whites and virtually everybody in the United States was now raising out their voice and letting their voice that these people are operating in an illegal way. And if at all they want to deport people, after arresting them, they should let them pass through judge, and the judge should be the one who to determine whether such people are to leave the country or are to remain within the country. And now, this black ICE agent came out and revealed how they are operated and how they are operating in the United States of America. And we can see in the final video before how they actually operate within Somali community and virtually all other races. And that is what everybody is talking about. Do you think the way ICE are operating is good? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and let's dive into more insight about this story. Thank you. See you in the next one.